the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshegun. Today on the program, Anyanwu dares PDP governors, says they cannot remove him. Senator Kalu calls for decisive measures against insecurity, says situation should not be politicized, as Southeast leaders task youths to take control of forests and farmlands in their communities. Late on the show, Force Headquarters condemn unprofessional conduct of police officers collecting 5,000 naira from Chinese national, identifies culprits. I'll be hanging out with Tunde Abaton and Kaidi Ladende. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. Now, just when we thought that the crisis rocking the main opposition, People's Democratic Party PDP, is about to end, another disagreement is on the horizon. This time, the PDP National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, has taken a swipe at the governors elected on the platform of the party over their decision to have another national secretary. Anyanwu said he was elected at the PDP National Convention for 4 years, and with this, he cannot be removed by a handful of party men. In his words, I quote, "No provision in the party's constitution allows a handful of privileged party men to unilaterally invalidate the PDP constitution." End of quote. All right, Sunday, let's start this way. Senator Samuel Anyanwu has dared the PDP governors. He called them a handful of party men.
Privileged men.
Privileged men. And he's very, very confident of this. But talk to me. Can Senator Samuel Anyanwu win this battle with the mighty PDP Governors Forum?
Well, we shouldn't look at anything beyond the constitution of the party.
Exactly.
And the ruling of the Supreme
I
Court.
thought exactly.
If in the wisdom of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, he was not validly removed, or is deemed to still be the substantive Secretary of the party. There's nothing the governors can do, even if there are 36 state governors in Nigeria. There's something we have to know, that we have to respect the rule of law at any point in time. The man was relying on the judgment of the Supreme Court and that of the High Court of Appeal. They are still pronouncing him as the authentic Secretary of the party. Yes, we have the PDP is going through the problem because the party lack internal conflict resolution mechanism that the matter should have been settled out of court. But I think that the inability of the governors and the probably National Working Committee to settle this matter shows that there are deep-seated differences within the PDP, which the leadership is here to resolve. You see, there's a saying in my place that it is because there's a mighty tree behind the garden that the garden is still making a lot of noise. And if people are not behind Anyanwu, it would not be daring the PDP governors. Okay. Yeah, the constitution regards the PDP governor as governors elected as leaders of the party in their respective states. Beautiful. But the governor did not say that their position can override the decision of the Supreme Court of Nigeria and the Federal Court of Appeal. So I think it's resting on the fact that he wants to test the law.
Test the law.
Test the
you
law.
Remember the Supreme Court said, let the parties sort out their differences.
But as it is now, the party is unable, like I said at the beginning, that the inability of any political party to have a very good, a firm conflict resolution mechanism in the party will now drag the party for so long. And it is very unfortunate that because we are in midterm season and the party has a lot of conflicts of interest. So if this one comes out, another one, you remember on Monday too, the party said that they are not ready to go to coalition with anybody. Whereas some interests in the party wanted coalition. So where do they go from here? Can they afford to fight on many fronts? Can the PDP afford to fight on many fronts on the legal
governors? The
governors is that you see by the constitution and arrangement of the Nigerian political system, the governors are in control of the party in their respective states. If they are in control of the party in their respective states, it means they hold the jugular of the party. Vis-a-vis the financing of the party.
And very key.
But that does not mean that if the Supreme Court has ruled that they should go and resolve it and they could not resolve it, the party will still have to go back to the court.
Oh, go back to the court.
At the end of the day, if it is unable to resolve this thing.
For proper interpretation.
Because the man can still say that if it is removed, he can still say that the governors have no locus standi.
Okay, now, but I mean, Daddy, talk to me. Why is the matter of the PDP National Secretary still being dragged when the Supreme Court has already ruled on it?
No, it simply means that the court is not trying to add to the confusion. The court is simply saying, are you a party? Because as a party, you must have conflict resolution mechanism.
True.
There must be clearly stated how this issue should be resolved.
True.
There is an office of the, I almost said NSA, the legal advisor.
Yes.
It's one of the positions in the NWC. So this is a situation where, this is the way I see it. Number one, Anyanwu is not wrong with his position. When he said they cannot remove him, it's absolutely correct. To put it clearly, like he said, the Governors Forum is not an arm of the
that's
party.
What, exactly. We need to put that.
You understand?
So it's a caucus.
So they cannot take a decision.
So you see them as a caucus.
No, it's not just a caucus. It's a pressure group.
Oh, okay.
Do you
Pressure
understand?
group.
Imagine having a party without a single governor. What happens to the constitution of that party? Would there be a governors forum? It's a function of the fact that, elections have been won. They are now governors on the platform of PDP. Do you understand?
Okay.
Can other party have what they call, forum when there is no single governor? So let's get it clearly. This is a party issue. What is the internal mechanism? Who should decide whether, Anyanwu should be removed or not?
Or not.
So I see a situation where I do not think the Deputy National Secretary, which the Governors Forum says should take over, right, because these things are based on the regions you come from. Setonji is the Deputy National Secretary.
Yes.
He's from Lagos. So you don't tell a Southwesterner to take over from the Southeast. That's my opinion. Now, there is someone called Udi Okoye, which the acting national chairman, that's Damagun, has recognized as the chairman, but he was at that governors forum taking this decision, and he seems to also have told the line of the governors forum, though he hasn't said anything. But we are not surprised, because we see a Damagun who has been dancing to the tune of Bala and some other people in the past. So the crisis is deep. So what is the way forward? I would suggest that the National Executive Committee of the party should come together, where these governors are also members of the NEC. Because if you say NWC is already confused, because this guy is a member of the NWC statutorily as the National Secretary. By the way, the National Chairman and the National Secretary are the one relating with INEC. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you are now dealing with someone like that, who has been said you are removed, you are not removed, the court never said he has been removed. So let's just forget this selfish interpretation that we are having from different parties. So the NEC should meet on this issue. The governor should be part of the NEC. If you want to remove this guy, remove him. If you want to go through his party to say that, okay, he's been recalcitrant and he's been suspended, that's fine. But so far, so good. There is no strong evidence to say this guy ceases to be the National Secretary.
Now, the PDP governors, just like what he said, they temporarily appointed a National Secretary, the Deputy President.
And they can only recommend.
Under the PDP constitution, do they have the authority to take such action?
Well, like we have said there, that because they are political leaders in their respective states, does not necessarily mean that they can overrule the constitution of the party. So that is so clear. But I think there is just a political grandstanding, because, like we said, so far the party lacks internal mechanism for resolving their issues. If they could not resolve it, it's unfortunate at this particular point in time. I think, like he said, the neck of the party should meet. No matter, we see there's a saying in Yoruba that only egba agbalagba kò sí lọ́wọ́ ọmọdé. The cane that you are going to use to cane the elderly person, it's not the junior one that will do it. So they should find a way of, nobody should be above the PDP as a party. So in that instance, they still have to resolve the conflict internal.
I mean, it's looking as if, are we saying that the voice of the PDP governors is now the voice of the entire party?
It could not be aggregated to the voice of the entire party, even though they are controlling.
Because they've already announced
the resources, they have all the things, but like you said.
By virtue of the politics of Nigeria, the governors are in control. For instance, if you want to become president, and you are not, your party is not in control about some states in Nigeria, it will be very hard difficult for you to do it, because the governors can control the party. So it's not like a president can be saying that I want a coalition with other parties. Governors who are directly the head of their parties are saying, no, we want to stand on. For how long can that one fight them? Yes. He cannot do that. He cannot do that.
Now, looking at all the crisis going on in the PDP, do you think the PDP will be able to pick up, you know, the pieces?
That's the conjecture.
I like the way
ahead of as we approach 2027 or before 2027.
I think Abadan has even further conflagrated the issue. The fact that I didn't even remember the coalition is already a topical issue. As we speak, Atiku has responded to the governors that the train has left the station. And I'm wondering, like you said, how do you become a candidate of coalition or PDP and you are saying the governors are on their own? That's a recipe for failure. You cannot, you understand, emerge a candidate of the party because these governors are in charge of the delegates. So even if you want to do direct primaries,
you still have to
the governors are very critical. So I see a very big issue. Now, this is what I perceive as a political watcher.
Okay.
I see a situation where the governors want to move forward. They want to move ahead of Atiku's camp, which I suspect is behind Ude Okoye. And they want to move ahead of Anyanwu, which I suspect, please, I'm open to correction, which I suspect is sponsored by Wike. So this is a situation which, please, can we move on with the Deputy National Secretary? You cannot wish it. You have to go through the party's constitution.
So you think the actions of the governors, I think what they did on Monday, the meeting they had on Monday, shows that
it could only be a recommendation. The only thing they've done is a communique, and it's not a decision. It's a recommend. Okay, let's say decision that can only be called recommendations. They don't have that power to tell the party no coalition.
What I'm saying is what the governors did, the meeting they had. You think that it shows that the PDP is still a force to reckon with?
Of course.
What they did with the PDP governors.
Of course. If you look at their analysis, their reasons for saying no coalition, they have a very good point. It's like saying, hey, this is PDP, for God's sake. Peter Obi left PDP.
Yes.
Why should I go and form coalition with him? He should come back to the family.
Come to the PDP.
Do you understand? NMPP left PDP. Talking about consensus.
Yes.
You should come back to the family. So why tell me that I should go and meet my children?
So the PDP joining a coalition is like an insult to the PDP.
That's why I totally agree with them. They have a lot of good reasons to say that the coalition in this place does not work. The other point I quickly want to jump in is the word merger is being misused to also be used interchangeably with coalition. Okay. In this case, merger is a big deal. And I think time is already, I'm not too sure what the Electoral Act says. For you to have a merger, it means you ceases to be the name you are bearing. That's what happened to APC. There was no more CPC, there was no more ACN, there was no more. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to remove your name. So, is that merger in course? I do not think so. They need to submit their intention to INEC. They need to mention all the paraphernalia. They need to submit the color, the logo. So what they should be thinking of is this coalition, which is now debatable.
Absolutely. Your parting thoughts on this matter?
Well, I think, like you said, forming a party or replacing a party or rebranding a party takes a long time. That was why the APC, they started in 2012. It did not crystallize until 2015. And it involved a lot of changes. It is inconceivable. Well, I'm very sorry to say for those people in the business world. When Access Bank swallowed Intercontinental Bank, there are some of us who were so surprised that how could a goat swallow an elephant? So how could a party that has only 2 states, or SDP that has no state at all, now go ahead and swallow the PDP? That was the first party in Nigeria in 1998. When you look at what the former governor of this state, Jigawa State.
Okay.
Lamido said that it is inconceivable that a party that was formed in 1998, another party that was more or less stateless, now swallow it. How can you leave the certainty for uncertainty? How can you ask me to come and to leave a party that you are just forming?
Okay.
That's just trying to struggle to find his feet, to go and to be swallowed by, to swallow another bigger party that has been there since 1998. Irrespective of whatever number of states PDP has, it's still the leading opposition party in Nigeria today. So I think that the best thing now is to farm up the PDP. It is inconceivable and it is not logical for anybody to expect that PDP will share its name for any other party.
All right then. All right, let's move.
Logical.
All right then. Let's move straight to our next conversation. The state of insecurity in some parts of Nigeria is uniting voices for the leadership to rise up and act. The senator representing Abia North, Orji Uzor Kalu, has